So I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to use this or not, but I'm sure as hell gonna try. I was scrolling through my YouTube feed, and one of the things that got suggested to me was a press conference from Buffalo Bills head coach and his beautiful bald shining head, Sean McDermott. I don't know if you guys have picked up on it yet from my past videos, but I am a Buffalo Bills fan, hence the Bills blanket sitting over my shoulder every video. So I'm going through, see his face. I'm like, sure, it's getting close to the regular season. Why not turn around, watch a video, hear what he's going to be saying? Surely it's going to have to do with football, right? Wrong. I didn't bother to read the title, but let's just say um, it's a pretty interesting press conference. Like I said, don't know if I'm going to be able to use this. We'll see. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see here. Also, subscribe here for more because yeah, we're probably going to be doing stuff like this pretty often, hopefully. And that means not necessarily football related, just, you know, what's going on in the world, I guess. Commentary, if you will. So, yeah, let's get into this, guys.
Based on some reporting from the Washington Post the other day, that there are only 4 teams in the league that are under 88%, I believe, vaccinated. Based on what Brandon said the other day, the Bills would be one of those 4. At what point does this issue stop being about individual freedoms or personal choice and start being about the greater good, whether that's for the team or for society overall?
Well, and I think I heard Coach Saban talk about this on television. I think there's a personal decision and there's a competitive decision. And so certainly the personal decision is left up to everyone in terms of their beliefs and their feeling what's right. And then the competitive decision is based on what's best for the team, obviously, in this case. At the end of the day, on the personal end of things, people have to make their own decision based on what they feel is right.
You've had a player now, Deion Dawkins, say that.
So, right away, we get a COVID question because a vaccinated, you got that? Was that clear enough? A vaccinated staff member tested positive for COVID. Mind you, NFL protocol makes it so that all players and staff who are vaccinated only need to be tested once a week or once every 2 weeks, versus unvaccinated players are to be tested every single day. So, good thing this guy got tested and on a Monday, because had he got sick on, say, Tuesday, he would have gone untested for 2 whole weeks and spread the, oh my goodness, Delta variant. Can't have that, right? The ultra violent, super spreadable Delta variant, you know? He would have been spreading that all around to people. Mind you, he got the vaccine. Oh, did I already say that? Sorry. Anyways, but because he tested positive, unvaccinated players on the Buffalo Bills were sent home as part of the protocol and have yet to return to practice. And we're talking about pretty big names on the team, starters. So now the whole big fuss, as you'll see coming forward, is if this was the regular season, what would happen? But I love the spin from the reporter right off the bat. At what point, if you didn't hear him, this is what he said. He said, at what point does this stop being about personal decisions and personal beliefs and become about the greater good, whether that be the good of the team or the world? So here we are once again. The weight of the world is on your shoulders. You understand that? Only you prevent a forest fire. So, what are you doing making personal choices for yourself? You're selfish, you're foolish, you're ignorant, and you are causing a pandemic of the unvaccinated. That's what they're going to tell you. Do you understand that? That is what is being perpetuated right now. And like this reporter pointed out, personal choices be damned. Fall in line for the greater good. Love it. Love it.
He spent 4 days in the hospital. He wasn't sure whether he was going to get out. You've had another player, Tommy Sweeney, miss the season based on a heart condition that resulted.
He said, Dion Dawkins, one of our again starters, spent 4 days in the hospital because of COVID-19, and now he's going to talk about another player, in some way COVID affecting him.
From a positive COVID test. If those two examples aren't enough for their teammates, do you just kind of throw your hands up and wonder what it's going to take for these guys who aren't getting vaccinated to do it?
Well, listen, there's plenty of evidence, and this is, in my opinion, there's plenty of evidence.
So, right there, do you just throw your hands up and say, what is it going to take for these guys? Because their friend got sick. Because their friend got sick, you have no choice. Why are you making this choice?
Of why you should get vaccinated, right? And that's what I did. That's my own personal beliefs. And so, like I said before, everyone has their own beliefs and respect those. But in my opinion, in my beliefs, there's plenty of evidence to get vaccinated.
Sean, how difficult is it not from becoming a distraction, given the fact we've been talking about this? This will be the second day of this week. We've been talking about this, given Isaiah McKenzie's tweet, and that he potentially put his own teammates at risk by not being masked.
So, how much of a distraction is this going to become, seeing as this is the second day this week that we are talking about this? Well, I don't know. Why the fuck are you still talking about it? You're the one bringing it up. You're the one fucking perpetuating it. Isaiah McKenzie was unmasked. I don't know, I guess he didn't follow the protocol correctly, got fined. I don't even know the whole story on that. Don't really give a fuck, because, the protocol's the protocol. You gotta follow protocol. Okay. Whatever. But, like, it's just so fucking funny. And I do want to not amend, but, I want to give praise to Sean McDermott where it's due, where he said, but circling back, like our great White House press secretary, to personal choices need to be respected, and everybody made a personal choice, but I personally believe in X, that, getting the vaccine, like he said, and he thinks that it's the right thing to do, hence why he did it. Fine. Great. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now stay true to your words, Sean. Don't go back on your words now. But exactly. People's personal choices need to be respected. Can we agree?
How much of a distraction can this become?
Well, you always have to be aware of what's going on in our world, right? Whether it's COVID in the last year and a half or 2 years now or whatever it's been, or anything else in terms of current events out there. So you try and do your best to balance what's happening in our world with still trying to stay focused on the task and the goal at hand and the purpose why we're here, which is to win games.
I know you don't follow social media, but a lot of your players are tweeting in response to what's happening. So the question is does it seem like their focus is on football, given that they're on social media right now tweeting about what happened to Isaiah?
Now, this is something that I wanted to talk about right here. This right here is absolutely fucking hilarious. He just said, but don't you think it's really, how much can your players really be focused on the game of football right now, since they're out on social media tweeting about what happened with Isaiah McKenzie, whatever that is. So they're out there tweeting about COVID or about, anti-vax messaging and all that, right? So now the question comes up, which is a fair enough question. It's a fair enough question. How focused are they on the actual game of football when they're focused on this? But wait. Oh, that's right. 2020 was so long ago. That's like, who Who even remembers 2020? I don't. What was it that the media was saying when teams were refusing to practice because of the whole George Floyd thing and because of racial injustice? Because there's things bigger than football, remember? Again, this is true. I'm not criticizing that sentiment right there. Absolutely. There are things bigger than football in life. 110%. But teams, stop practicing. Say, we are not going to practice because black men are killed by cops every single day in this country. They're hunted down by the thousands, and everybody knows this. And we are taking to social media. We're going to remember what they said? I remember, unless I'm just absolutely insane. They said something about using their platform to speak out against racial injustice. And coaches, media, and owners alike were sitting there praising them and standing by them and having their backs and saying, well, these young men, you know, they have a message and they want to use it. Basically saying the same exact thing. Basically saying, yeah, we stand behind our players. But as soon as our players come out and start questioning vax or start, like, you know, bitching about the NFL's stupid ass COVID protocols and how retarded it was that Isaiah McKenzie got fined, well, no, you're right. You're right. How much of a distraction is this? How much can they really focus on football when they're too busy on social media focusing about the repercussions of the COVID protocols and the COVID-19 vaccine? Like, do you see the double standard here? Do you see the hypocrisy? Or am I not explaining it well enough? Am I not seeing something? Let me know in the comment section down below if I'm totally getting this blown out of proportion here, if I'm just making absolutely no sense. Do you understand that that is such a double standard? Speak out, use your platform for X, but you are using your platform for Y. Well, that's just a distraction. And what are you doing? And honestly, I agree, it is a fucking distraction. But the thing is, I'm fucking consistent, and I said that back with the racial injustice shit, and I'll say it now with the COVID shit. You're right. These players shouldn't be on social media bitching about the COVID protocol because, like Sean McDermott's about to say, well, the protocol's been in place for a while, and it was been agreed upon by the fucking representatives of the NFLPA, which all the players bitch about anyways. Welcome to the union, bitch.
Yeah, well, I think that part of that's going to happen in our day and age of what's out there in the world that a lot of these guys live in and you live in, and I live in, quite frankly. It's unfortunate when players get fined, right? That being said, these rules have been agreed upon and in place and well communicated for some time. And so it's important for us that we focus on being safe and healthy. That's number one, and that's always been number one. And then number two is doing our best to stay focused on the goal and the purpose of why we're here, which is to win football games.
Sean, you said that it's a personal decision and it's a competitive decision. But do you feel like that your team is at a competitive disadvantage with how this is played out, or could be at a competitive disadvantage somewhere down the road?
Well, I think when the numbers are the numbers, based on what Jay said, some people are in a better position potentially than we are at this point, just looking at on the surface, the numbers. That being said, again, I go back to the personal decision on this thing, and I respect our players' positions. In my personal opinion, it's right to get vaccinated.
And the man just said it. He has his personal opinion, but others have their personal opinions, and they need to be respected 100%. Now, one of the questions that was just asked there was going back to what I was saying in the beginning, which was, you know, if this was the regular season instead of the preseason, what would the repercussions be? So they're painting him into a corner for him to have to say that, yeah, of course, we're at a disadvantage because our vaccinated percentage is lower compared to other teams. Who fucking who? Because he says later on, which we're not going to go through this whole thing, but he does say later on how injuries fucking happen even before COVID, never mind the COVID here, and he just said it there, you want to stay healthy and fit. Absolutely, of course, 100%. But again, so alluding to what I was saying the other day, boom, there you go. He said it perfectly. Well, he's going to say it perfectly. Injuries happen. Injuries fucking happen. So don't play the game. So don't play the fucking game, right? And you've seen it. Players have retired because they don't want to have brain damage by the time they're 50 years old. You've seen players retire super early. You've seen players go through one too many knee injuries and call it quits. Some of them just calling it quits ahead of time just to take preventative measures. And guess what happens then? No criticism. None. Because they made a personal choice. Although they did criticize the fuck out of Andrew Luck by booing him after he was walking off the field, which... How can you Colts fans live with yourselves? Andrew's a good man.
Communication with Starr, in particular, after opting out last season, on the surface, to see him be unvaccinated could raise some questions. Has he communicated anything to you in terms of his decision, other than it being a personal decision?
No.
Sean, talking about here the competitive disadvantage versus the personal aspect of it, the thing that's not being said is that you agree with the personal aspect of it, or at least you can understand where they're coming from. Decisions on the roster are made for competitive reasons.
So, what the guy before just said was one of our players opted out last year because he, wasn't sure what the repercussions of COVID-19 was at the time. We're talking 12 full months ago, in the midst of all of this. So he opted out. Again, I know I'm repeating myself from the other day, but more time has gone by, right? So he's opting back in for the season while also choosing to not be vaccinated. Now, this report is saying that could raise some questions. Has he spoken to you as to why he's done it? No. What does that fucking matter? Seriously, what does that matter? Does it matter?
Meet Glowforge, the 3D laser printer. Create with wood, fabric.
What then, regarding their decisions from a competitive standpoint to not get this vaccine, then plays into whether or not they stay on the team?
Yeah, that will not be a factor in deciding who stays and who goes.
As it damn well shouldn't be. You hear this guy? Do you hear this guy, this reporter? He asked him, what percentage of, what's the chance of someone being vaccinated or unvaccinated going to play and whether or not they stay on the team? He's trying to get them to cut, the reporters are trying to get him to say that he'll cut players if they don't get vaccinated. Or at least they had the balls to ask that fucking question. None, as it damn well shouldn't. Why should it? The NFL already put their protocols out. They already said that the players don't need to be vaccinated. It's not mandated. The NFLPA and the NFL did not agree on that. What are we talking about here? Brandon Beane had to walk back some shit that he said at the beginning of this year, meaning like the beginning of this calendar year, talking about how he'll cut players if they're not vaccinated because now the vaccines are available. And the NFL called him up and they were like, yeah, you can't fucking say that. That, like, you better, like, no. So that's why Sean McDermott is so quick to be like, no, like we already had that discussion within our organization, and that's, no, can't happen.
What have you guys done as a team to educate guys, since they've been back in the building on the vaccine? Has it been kind of a continual, persistent effort? Like, what specific stuff have you guys done?
It's been nonstop, Matt. It's been absolutely nonstop. They've been well educated. We've done our part to educate them, build awareness. we're always educating on a lot of topics, this being one and a major one. So, you know, there's not much room in our day left to do anything else other than educate on that and football. And I can tell you we've done our part to educate.
So, what have you done to educate the players? Has the organization done enough? What does this education sound like, I wonder? I mean, I've yet to personally be re-educated. Oh, excuse me, educated. I am a very uneducated fool, you know. I'm no virologist. I'm no evolutionary biologist here. So please do forgive me. I am admitting I'm uneducated. What does this education sound like? So why are you hesitant to get the vaccine? I don't know, because I'm just not sure about it. I don't feel safe. Again, shouldn't even be a fucking question. Why? Hey, we got the vaccine here for you. Want it? No. Okay, somebody else can fucking get it. Supposedly they're having a hard time getting them to Africa. There you go. Take mine. You can have it. Absolutely. Nope, that's not how it goes. Why are you hesitant to get the vaccine? I don't know. I just don't want it. People, it's hard to answer something like that. Like, I don't want it. I don't know if it's safe. Oh, well, you know, it's been tested. It's been tested, and although it's now the Pfizer is approved by the FDA. Let me be clear about that. Now the Pfizer is approved by the FDA, but just because even though the other ones aren't, they've still been tested. Time. Yeah, you kind of need time to be able to tell if that's true. But anyways, they've been they've been tested, and they've proven to be safe. You should really get it. You know, just do it. Just do it. Here, just smoke this marijuana cigarette. It's fine. It's safe. It's not addicting. Just do it. Here, just, you know, huff this paint thinner. It's not gonna do anything. Just do it, right? Just do it. And now I know I went from one extreme to the other. I went from one thing, in my opinion, that is not so harmful, but yet does have its side effects and is addictive in ways, right? And something that is completely dangerous, that could potentially damage your system highly or kill you. Just do it. Everybody else is doing it. What's the big deal, dude? Just do it. Like, why aren't you getting this? For real. It's really simple. Just do it.
Sean, how frustrating is it when, you know, you guys can do all the right things as far as coaching and, you know, as far as game strategy goes and things like that, and actually performing on the field, and then something like this where, you know, you can have one position group get completely wiped out or partially wiped out because of this? I guess just how frustrating is that when it has nothing to do with the game itself?
Yeah, very frustrating. Very frustrating. There's people's livelihoods at stake in
Who fucking who?
terms of, you know, people's jobs are in their performances judged off of wins and losses or how well a person does X or Y, and some of that's dependent upon other members of the team. That's why this is a team game. And being able to count on people is important. And so when you're going through a week, if this were a real week, and having the players out that we've had, that makes it hard to win games that way. And that's the competitive piece of this, Heather. And that's you know, that's hard enough when it's non-COVID years based on natural injuries that come up through week-to-week games and practices. And now, not now, but as of a year ago and change, this came on the scene, and we continue to deal with it.
So he just said it right there. It's there's always been risk associated with the game, and just like every other year, they're trying to make sure that the players are as healthy as possible, that they have a functioning team that can get them as many wins as possible, and ultimately try to win a championship. No fucking shit. Now, we're gonna stop this here. Meaning the video for Sean McDermott, from Sean McDermott. But do you see where this goes? It's just a roundabout. That's really all it is. You know, why? How much of a distraction is this going to be? As we're the ones who are distracting you by it, by bringing it up every single fucking day. You know? How much of a distraction is it? It's all about framing, and they are going to take every and any opportunity that they can to frame it in a way where if you are not vaccinated, you are the problem. You are the public health crisis. You're at the epicenter of everything that is going wrong with COVID-19. Mind you, I will remind you that you can be deemed anti-vax even if you are vaccinated, but you just are not a proponent of vaccine mandates. If you don't agree with vaccine mandates, or, you know, strong-arming people into getting something that they don't personally feel safe with for whatever reason, you are anti-vax. Even if you're vaccinated, even if you personally took it yourself. Sean McDermott saying that players' personal choices need to be respected, and at the end of the day, nobody's going to get cut, whether they're vaccinated or not. He's anti-vax. He's wicked anti-vax. YouTube should probably take that down, because that's some misinformation right there. You should not respect people's personal choices when it comes to their body and their health. Again, we're gonna go back to players have retired in their early mid 20s, late 20s, because they don't want to be retarded from CTE by the time they're 50 years old. They don't want to be crippled from getting severe back injuries and their discs all broken down. Where was the judgment? Where was the judgment? It's their body, but it's not their choice. It's not their choice. Right? Wrong. Absolutely wrong. I know I've been a little facetious in this episode. Don't mistake my facetiousness for, you know, being real. So I say things sometimes very sarcastically to kind of like portray the image of the obscenities of these people, the absurdity that is perpetuated, you know, juicy contradictions. And it's just funny. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how anything, even in football, whatever, it doesn't matter what aspect of your life. You can't even turn to sports to get away from COVID-19 and the vaccine. Do it. Just do it. And that's the message for today, guys. Fuck questioning anything. Just do it. Thanks, guys.